Life is a highway. All right, moving along quickly.
Breathe. Okay, go on. The Bremashaved. They started to appear out of nowhere, like these red signs. It was really a true Route 66. You were on the Mother Road. You felt the Mother Road. It's, in my opinion, you shouldn't miss it.
I agree. Hi, and welcome back to Two Bears Trekking. I'm Randy.
And I'm Jonathan. Welcome.
This is going to be the beginning of our trip along historic Route 66.
There you go, the Mother Road.
The Mother Road. It started in Kingman, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Nice little town.
Yeah. We sort of went in and out of Route 66 all the way to St. Louis. So make sure you continue to tune in and see our videos about and adjacent to 66. Kingman. Kingman is a big place to start there in Arizona.
Yes.
It does start in California. We didn't do any of that part. But west of Kingman is also Oatman, and a lot of people like to see that part. And we didn't, because it's a little bit trickier and more narrow for RVs, and it was a bit out of the way. So we just began in Kingman. Lots to see there in Kingman.
The Route 66, the Arizona Route 66 Historical Society is based in Kingman. And they really do a great job of that.
And we're going to do the Kingman to Seligman portion, and it's a horseshoe. It diverts from I-40 and heads north and then back south.
Right.
So it's not along the route, so you have to make that choice to do it. And Seligman was the birthplace of historic Route 66.
They say that, so I'm going to trust them on that.
Well, back in 1987, they were the first to form a committee and push for Arizona to adopt historic Route 66. So
I guess that could be considered the birthplace.
Yeah. So that's why they say that.
There you go.
All right. So Kingman, Arizona, lots of things to see. A couple of arches that you can
drive through. Not
in your RV.
Not in your RV.
Unless you want to knock it down.
Yes, take off that air conditioning on the top.
Yeah, like your, vacation with Chevy Chase there.
Yes.
But the main thing there is the Powerhouse Visitor Center and the Route 66 Museum there, right in one complex on old historic Route 66.
Yeah, neat little complex.
Yeah. A couple of trains across the street to see, and then Mr. D's right next door.
There you go. Cute little cars out front.
Yeah, if you're getting hungry and it's the middle of the day and you want to get a bite to eat.
Absolutely.
Just about a mile down the road is also the Railroad Museum. Now, at the Railroad Museum, parking might be a little bit trickier. Right. Not that it's not tricky at the Powerhouse Museum.
But we found a spot, okay?
You'll see the spot here. If you're longer, you might want to be cautious. You can go around the back of the building then to swing around and get out, because otherwise it's tight making some of those turns. Just don't get yourself boxed in.
No.
If there were like an RV convention of three,
yes,
it might start to get a little bit tricky.
Get cozy.
Yeah, so not the best for parking, but it's worth a stop. You can get your first introduction, some nice gift shops there.
Right.
There's a museum there.
There is a museum, nice museum. We didn't go in, but it seemed like it was a nice little place to go.
Yeah, and people do talk it up. We knew we were going to see a lot of museums along the way, so we decided to pass on that one.
Right.
But we did. We're interested in the history of the Powerhouse, and there are exhibits there.
Absolutely.
On the lower level and the upper level.
And you can get one of those stamps. There's a stamps little thing.
That's right. You can get your stamp books here.
So the whole Route 66 or just Arizona has little stamps. And this is one of the places where you can get one of the stamps.
Exactly.
If you want to do that. We decided, we'll skip the stamps. Yes.
So moving north from Kingman on the historic 66, you'll see a couple more things along the way in Kingman. If you'd like, stopping in the cities along 66 with an RV, especially a larger one, is going to be a little bit tricky.
Tricky. We'll emphasize tricky.
Yeah.
Difficult is another word.
But once you get north of Kingman and out of the city,
should be just fine.
Kind of like middle of nowhere along the way.
It's Route 66.
You'll have the trains will keep you company.
Yes, the trains. Love those trains.
Yes,
lots of trains.
Yes. You'll know you're heading in the right direction when you hear the train.
Or you're following the train. Yes.
So the next major thing you'll come to is the Hackberry General Store. You'll see this always played up. They have, what do we see there?
Well, it says it's a general store, but it's really not.
It's a souvenir shop.
It's a souvenir shop. They based this, one of the little stores in Cars, Town Cars at Disneyland is based after this. It's a neat little experience. It kind of gave you a feel of truly what Route 66 was about. I loved the pictures outside. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was nice because you get to see some artifacts without paying like a museum entrance.
Right.
So I thought the outdoor and the indoor artifacts were great. The gift shop
I picked up my first Route 66 pin there.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, absolutely not. But trust me, there's a lot of places to buy pins along the way.
There are a lot of missed opportunities there. For example, they have like a little counter service area, but it's only for decoration, and there's just missed opportunities. It could be a lot more interesting than it is.
I wasn't overly impressed, but it was a nice stop.
So the thing you care about if you're traveling in an RV, is there a spot to park? Well,
yes.
Again, it's that 3 RVs is a crowd.
Yes.
Type thing.
Maybe 2 RVs is a crowd in this one.
There are a lot of autos stopping, so we tried to pull off to the side and not block things. It wasn't exactly level. The parking lot's dirt, so it's not. It's a delicate balance.
You can do it.
You can do it. Be patient, and be careful when you're pulling it out.
Absolutely.
Okay? So continuing down the historic Route 66, next major, you'll start to see some great landscapes.
You'll see
and outcroppings.
You'll start to see gas stations. Now, this is a big thing about Route 66. Gas stations everywhere. Everyone loves to redo a gas station and make it into, a museum or something.
But you'll see more that aren't redone and they're sort of dilapidated, which is cool as well.
They're historical. Feel.
And you could pull off on the
easily
side of the
take
road.
A picture there.
And then you start to see the motels that are broken down.
Yeah. A little sad. I mean, but this is truly Route 66, and you have to understand that this is what you're going to experience.
Right.
It is a bygone era.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And then out of nowhere, you will enter the native reservation, and you will be in Peach Springs, which was the inspiration for Radiator Springs.
Radiator Springs
for cars.
My goodness, there you go.
Yes. So yeah, there's I believe a casino there. It's also a place, jumping off point for some river tours, and then also the famous Grand Canyon Skywalk. If you don't want to go to the Grand Canyon proper, and you can walk on a glass skywalk over the Grand Canyon.
Look down there and kind of go, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a side trip. You park right there in Peach Springs, and then take that tour. But plenty of places in Peach Springs if you want to pull over and get a little rest or a little lunch. Great for RV friendliness.
Yeah. What about the lunch just down the road at Grand Canyon Caverns?
Okay, I don't want to get you started because we're going to do a whole separate video. But after Peach Springs, and you continue down the road, you see more motels, gas stations, and you come upon this complex.
Wow. This is exciting. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to bite my lip here because we're going to do a whole video on this. Trust me, there's a lot of content.
So you will come upon a large complex. You can almost miss it because it looks like it's closed.
Yeah.
But it's not really. Parts of it are. But we're not going to talk too much about it. You'll see our video later. And
there's plenty of parking.
Hotel.
Let's go there. Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking.
No problem.
Campground there as well. So if you want to stay overnight, and wait for that video because it will not disappoint.
You will not be disappointed.
All right, moving along quickly. Let's
breathe. Okay, go on.
So then after that, I think, is that where the Bremashaved?
The Bremashaved. They started to appear out of nowhere, like these red signs.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with this, this was a whole thing during Route 66. The Bremashaved Corporation had a brilliant idea, and said, let's we don't have a lot of market share. Let's put some signs out in the middle of nowhere
on Route 66. and you read the sign. You're excited about what the next sign and what the rhyme and all this kind of fun stuff.
Right.
It is an experience. I love it.
It's kind of fun. It's almost worth driving that section to get those signs in.
I felt like this section was the most Bremashaved signs. If you wanted to really experience Bremashaved signs, this is it.
Yes. And so then you roll into Seligman, which puts you right back by the I-40 if you wanted to hop on there. But take a little bit of time. Parking in Seligman for an RV, especially a larger one, again, tricky. But we parked by the general store there, and that seemed to be the best spot.
It was a general store. You could buy, if your RV has some issues, there's stuff there for that. There's food there. There's trinkets. There's trinkets. You'll see lots of trinkets. And this place definitely had its trinkets.
Well, and from there, you can walk both sides of the street. You can walk, if you're hungry, you can walk over to the Roadkill Cafe. We cannot promise what
kind of roadkill you might have. Lots of selfie shots there. I mean,
that's right next to the territorial jail.
There you go.
And then the Route 66. There's a motel there. And then on the other side of the street, there's some murals.
Yep, great. Loved it.
And if you walk, see, this is where it's tricky with a rig because, like, we would have pulled over for the snow cap. Is snow cap driving where people talk about ice cream and other things? But it was and
one RV is a convention there. Okay, it's snug.
It was a little tricky, so we decided to go past. But in theory, if you were parked at the general store, you could walk down there.
But it's a little bit of a walk.
It is maybe a mile.
Yeah. So just be prepared for that.
So Seligman's a good stop and RV friendly as long as there's not a convention of 3 or more.
Yeah, exactly.
And we opted to continue down historic 66 instead of jumping on the I-40 at Seligman. And we continued out till it forces you onto I-40 right about a little bit west of Ash Fork.
For me, and I'll try to keep this really brief, for me this was really a good feeling of Route 66 because you were on old historic Route 66 and you looked over and you saw 40 and you saw these so you could really get the history and the feel of what happened.
And I almost think it's that section that, when they do Life is a Highway.
I don't remember. Don't want to get up. Yeah.
So I think this is almost that section because there's a turnout at the end before you get onto I-40 where people were coming to take photos of that long stretch, that hilly stretch
with the wavy road.
Yeah, and rock outcroppings and everything. And there are a ton more Bremashaved signs, which make the boring drive in that section go a little bit quicker and have a few laughs. At least we did.
Right. You really get a feel of, in my opinion, from Kingman to Seligman and on over to 40, it was really a true Route 66. You were on the Mother Road. You felt the Mother Road. It's, in my opinion, you shouldn't miss it.
I agree. I think it is well worth the detour. If you don't want to stay overnight along the way, and like we said, there are some opportunities. We stayed at a Harvest Host. See our other video.
Check that video right here.
You can also stay at the campground at Grand Canyon Caverns.
Yep.
Stop. there are other spots. You could actually pull off the road and just tuck in for the night as well. I do. I highly recommend that detour, or at the very least, do it in a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Hopefully you enjoyed this Route 66 video, and we're going to be making lots more videos along Route 66. So please join us and watch out for those. In the meantime, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and then keep on
trekking.